Okay, so we want to be able to do computations with numbers that are written in scientific notation. Now, remember on the last problem, I think it was the last one, we said something like we wanted 331 million. Okay, so let's say you didn't know what that looked like. And you said, well, it's 331, and then I know a million is 1,000,000,000. And then you said 331, and then I'm going to write this as 1 times 10 to the 6th power. So you could write it that way, right? Okay, but then you said, I want to write that in scientific notation. So you have 3.31 times 10 squared, and then you're multiplying that times 1 times 10 to the 6th. So this would be an example of two numbers written in scientific notation, and wanting to do the multiplication between them. Now remember, it's all multiplication. Multiplication here with the parentheses, multiplication here in the scientific notation. Because it's all multiplication, we can move stuff around. Multiplication's commutative and associative. So I can take the 3.31, and multiply it. I'm not sure how to write the multiplication. I'll just use the multiplication sign, times 1. So I'm taking the real numbers here, and then they're all real numbers, and then I can do the same thing with the powers of 10. I can put those together. All right, so you're just moving stuff around and reassociating it. That gives you 3.31 times, and then you can use your power rule here that says you're going to add because they're like bases, so 10 to the 8th. So you could have gotten the answer that way. So now we're going to do something similar for these problems here. Perform the indicated computations writing the answers in scientific notation. Now sometimes things happen with these problems. Okay, so we're going to start out with what we were doing there a minute ago. We're going to take the 6.1 and the 4. We want to multiply that. 6.1 times 4. I could write it like that. Times, and then I'm going to say, well, the powers, 10 to the 5th, times 10 to the negative 9th. I've written it a little bit different than I did on the last problem, but it's the same thing. Now I have to know what 6.1 times 4 is. 24.4. I could get a calculator and do that. Okay. Times, and then this is going to be 10 to the negative 4th, right? Because I'm adding exponents here. Like bases, add the exponents. Okay. There's a problem though. Don't put a box around this, because 24.4, that's too big to be in scientific notation. It's not a number between 1 and 10. Okay. So probably the easiest way to do it is think about, what would I like this number to be? I would like it to be 2.44 times 10. Now how much did I move it? I moved it one place, right? 10 to the 1st power because I moved it to the left. Okay. Times 10 to the negative 4th. Okay, now I can say, well, what's this 10 to the 1st times 10 to the negative 4? 2.44 times 10 to the negative 3. Because I'm just going to add those exponents. The bases are the same. Okay, maybe the parentheses didn't help. Okay, but that's what you get. It's a little tricky. Sometimes I have to really think about it. All right, now let's look at this problem. We have 1.8, and we want to divide that by 3. We want this part. And then we're going to be times, I have 10 to the 4th over 10 to the negative 2. Now, if I don't know what 1.8 divided by 3 is, I just go to my calculator, and it's been a long day. It's going to be 0.6, but let's just write it. So I don't know. I'm just looking at my calculator just because. Times 10 to the, now we would have to go 4 minus negative 2, right? So that's going to be 10 to the 6th. Again, you could do that on the calculator. The problem is this is too small this time. It's not between 1 and 10. So I need to write this as 6 times 10 to the, now that's going to be a negative 1, right? Because I moved the decimal back. Okay, so I'm taking a small number and making it into 6, a larger number. Okay, times 10 to the 6th. Now reassociate. I'll do the parentheses this time so you can see it. But now I can add those exponents. So I get 6 times 10 to the 5th. Now you might say, well, I could just do the whole thing on my calculator. This number is not too bad. Probably most scientific calculators could handle that. Sometimes though they can't. They just don't have the decimal capacity. But they might remember it, so you could try it. Try it on your calculator and see.